Hello, good morning. Welcome to the JBDC's entrepreneurial journey. This is our third staging, and today, this morning, I have a mystery man, a mystery entrepreneur who I can tell is going to be giving a very compelling interview this morning. Let me introduce to you, everyone, Mark Scott of AJ Education and Technology Services. But Lord, me just flop your big reveal, Mark. Them can't see your name anyway. Show who you are, Mark.
We could start with the forward first, you know? Big up my barber with the brand new hairstyle, I'm joking. I teach kids, so I have always have a sense of humor. But yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
This is Mark as you're going to get.
Okay, so how you doing, Mark?
I'm good. It was a really easy drive down. I appreciate you staying at home to do the interview so that I can come to JBDC without traffic. You know what I mean? Parking lot was nice and empty and all.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So how are
It's
you?
nice to
How
see
have
the
you?
it's nice
Hmm?
to see the country catching up on the first world side of things because we do have the infrastructure. So we just need the
Yeah,
will. Yeah.
yeah. How have you been doing in these times?
Great, awesome. Managed to stay above boredom by helping some friends launch a product, as well as been doing some other projects in terms of pivoting my own company. And I guess we'll get into that shortly. But yeah.
Yeah, let's just dive right into that. Start off by telling us um, what do you do?
All right. So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Essentially, I support three main verticals, which is education, technology, and media. Right. On the media side, the biggest thing in my experience would be when I was project manager for World Cup in 2014, because I was a consultant advisor to CBM. And that gave me the opportunity to work closely with people like Shamina Khan, Michael Leachin, and, meet his brothers as well. So that was pretty good. Matter of fact, that gave me the first opportunity to put my hand on Mike's shoulder and tell him I'm going to be twice as rich as him in half the time he took to get there. He threw his head in the sky and laughed. So I get to add that to my wise. In the education side of things, we've always been running CXC workshops at the University of West Indies. So we have a series called the Can't Fail CSEC and Cape Marathons, where we take one day to apply to a course, like math or English or whatever. We've been doing that for since 2009. We've helped thousands of kids literally digitally and in face-to-face mode. Kids who go to some of the brightest and most prominent schools who also have challenges like anybody else, right? So that's been a very effective, mainly because my personal experience is one of failure. Having repeated fifth form in high school, so I know it feel like when you have an exam coming up, and you never really pay attention to the poetry will start blossom. You know what I mean? Right.
Mm.
Likewise, at university, my first year or two, I had some major challenges, which was really tied to institutional things. So we had to then dip in the leadership basket and take out a little leadership cape and throw it on and fix it for not just us, but other people coming after us. So that's on the education side. We also have an annual workshop program called Tech Camp Jamaica, where we teach children 4 to 17 years of age, website design, cartoon animation, mobile application design. And some of those kids have actually gone on to hold on industry leading jobs in the workforce globally as well. And lastly, so we did the media, we did education, and on the technology side, um, basically I am a computer scientist by profession. So my first degree is in computer science with a minor in geology. And the biggest ticket thing that we've done to date is create several platforms that are being used and have been utilized. So I saw UNDP giving us a shout out on the Facebook. So big up yourself, United Nations. Um, we created a portable Wi-Fi hotspot tool called the Knowledge Point. And basically, where they had challenges with the established telecoms, our tool was able to basically power a signal for up to a mile at Rudolph Elder Park, having hundreds of people connect. So we tend to just move that around as a digital experience to support UN. So it helps them to collect data, it helps them to distribute information. That same tool helped my wife's dance company, Arbest Dance Collective. They have this annual production called Bricolage that they changed now, or they pivoted to Transcendence. And we were getting a price point of printing. It was, let me see, Philip Sherlock Center that she uses can seat 250 persons. And we had to give everybody a brochure. So just giving you an idea what the tool does or how it worked or why it's valuable. And we're basically able to help them to save 400,000 Jamaican dollars in print by using the tool one night to distribute the programs to everybody. So in other words, one company was charging us $50,000 per 40 program. No, that's a lie. It was $40,000 per 50 program. All right. So 550 into 250, which is 250 seats, is five times 40 grand, we get 200,000. We had 2 nights. We had I think it was a Friday show and a Saturday show, or a Saturday show and a Sunday show. And even in the heights of panicking, that's when we realized that, hey, we have this tool, which is this tool here. I have to show the big up Randy.
Yeah, big up
collaboration, Brescia. Yeah. Randy told me that he was giving me this bag free. Randy, see, I paid it forward. I plug Brescia, right?
Oh, we endorse it.
Right. And so basically, it's just a little device like this, right? Carries a Wi-Fi signal at the top, right? And we have some computer stuff inside. You put it down anywhere in the middle of a desert, and you can do lots of stuff, like you could train a whole school with it because we support up to 2,000 persons connecting to the tool, etc. So we came out, we're generally involved in innovation wherever there is an issue, right? And that's it in a nutshell.
Wow. So you're a edutech entrepreneur?
Let's just say I'm a consultant. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
You're not left off the entrepreneur part.
No,
you're not left off the entrepreneur part. That is the main reason why you are in that space and in this space.
Yeah, the seat is kind of hot, you know.
All right, so you basically it's 3 prongs: education, technology, and media. So that device, you call it the knowledge point.
Knowledge point.
So that's basically the media. That's from the media side of things or the tech side of things.
No, it's from the everything side of things. So what happened is when we had the CXC workshops at UA, I was born and raised in Waterhouse. So at some point in time, I always wanted to be able to go back to my community and make an impact, because education was a vehicle that my parents pushed to get all of us basically where we are now, right? So like, I think Karen is in England somewhere watching, and that's because my mother pushed education. I think Kimo, as a medical doctor, somewhere in Bahamas watching, and that's because mommy pushed education. Michael, TJ, Jenny, Shelly, you know, shouting out to the whole family, by the way. That's a plug for the family. So yeah, the long and short of it is my parents believed in education as a vehicle for social mobility. By learning coding in particular though, because I had the opportunity to work summer jobs at the Bauxite Company. And also it trained my eyes to identify how to create work for myself, because typically you would have done a 3-week stint, right? But people like Mrs. Nadia Tracy, the HR manager down there, were kind enough from that time to allow you to kind of just work a little longer, right? And just make yourself relevant to the company. And that over time honed my skill set. So the knowledge point fuses technology because it's an IT tool. It fuses media because it's a content distribution or content collection point, right? And it fuses education because it was really born out of education. It was the desire for being able to take up our classes and carry our training around the island that made us realize that, hey, we can't rely on the telecoms to do it because their price point is a little too pricey. I mean, so we found a way to innovate for ourselves. And interestingly, we had actually decided not to earn another dollar until we had completed the research and development. Because, you know, sometimes if you really want to do something, but you're busy doing some other things, that thing may end up waiting. But we knew that the future needed this, and here we are in the future.
Mark, that future is actually here right now, because I'm listening to you describe this thing and I'm wondering how it is that you could possibly provide some kind of this product could provide some kind of support to Jamaica's and maybe even the Caribbean's current situation where our students are at home and many of them being challenged with access to the internet.
Here's what I'm going to say. We're interested in working with National Housing Trust, right? We're interested in working with the National Youth Service. We're interested in working with the Ministry of Education. We're interested in working with the police community youth groups, right? We're interested in working with churches. Any building that is associated with a community that can act as a housing point where people can gather but still have social distance, this tool is ideal, right?
Because
Now
it's
on
up
the
to a mile,
finance,
right?
yeah, the
The
signal,
signal goes up.
we can push the signal a little bit more. Any institution that wants to get real value in terms of getting inside a house. So let's say, for example, by some random chance, right? Somebody from Grace Kennedy at the senior level is watching this now, and them really want to push that new Grace Kennedy product inside of a house, right? Just come and give us a talk. Let's put some educational content out there. I'll just label the signal and call it Grace. Maybe Lasco wants to do it. So let's call it Lasco, right? Because here's the thing. I'm just a vehicle, right? Father give me a message. I bring it forward as a product, right? It's here for you Jamaicans. If you want to take it and make Jamaica forever great, you know, it's up to you guys, right? But we're just the vehicles and that's what we have to put out there. You understand?
Wow, I love that. So, uh, um, is it so I'm not so techy, so I'm going to ask some very dull questions just so I can understand.
I mean, every
Um,
question good.
so you're saying to me that this device acts independent of our current existing service providers.
100%.
This device. Like, don't worry if you live up on the hill somewhere where no signal, no reach from either one of the providers.
100%.
Wow, wow.
And we do not affect, we're not involved in the broadcasting spectrum, right? We are not a competing entity to the telecoms, right? We are just an intranet solution, right? So in other words, let me give you an example. If you wanted a secure cloud for your house, let's say you're a C-level executive, right?
Yes.
And you know that, you know, you have to have your private security for your kids to go to school. You know, security is paramount for you. Then what you're gonna find is that you need at least one place in your house that is not Dropbox, that is not any other cloud, right? So if you have your ultra secure pieces of information that you want to protect, you drop it in this, and when you turn it off and you take it up, it's gone with you. If you want to throw it in the deepest, darkest sea, that's up to you, right? If you want to use it exclusively in your household for your family photos, because, you know, I have an iPhone and I know that, boy, you have to constantly buy storage and that kind of thing. But this kind of tool, you dump off your content quickly and it's private, right? The thing is that we've gone into the future now in terms of technology, especially telecoms and communication overall. But we're getting a little bit too much away from full control of the technology at the same time. There's no reason why you, Kira, should not be able to record all of these wonderful content, right? And then drop it in a tool like this with some questions, a little workflow, you know, some activities, and then take that and make it into a digital workshop experience somewhere all the way in Negril when your friends flying from, where your friends flying in from, Kira?
Right, you know, nowhere.
Oh, right. So I mean, when the thing free up and the people can
When the
fly.
thing free up, yeah, they might be coming in from the motherland, yeah. They might be coming
Let me
in
give you
from
some other work.
UK, all
Let me give you
over.
some other scenarios now. You go to, I went down to KC the other day in Sovereign, and I saw a long line. And then I driving home on Hope Road, past my alma mater, JC. And I see KFC have another long line. And I was like, wouldn't it be better if them just make all of the people in park? And KFC may get the idea for free still. But if you want to pay for some others, that's fine. Wouldn't it be better if they just get a knowledge point from me, park up in the KFC, right? Make everybody just go on them phone, connect to the Wi-Fi, join the queue, the orders go through, still drive around and collect your money, pay your money same way through the regular platform, and still connect to the regular platform. In other words, being organized in a queue now in terms of order management for anything client-facing or customer interaction doesn't have to be physically standing in a line. JPS, I see you have a long line the other day, right? PM Wholeness, doing a good job, but I see some people the other day when they free up St. Catherine, you know, people bundling. But this tool can help us to reduce the cluttering. People can physically come within proximity of a mile, have their social distance, do whatever interaction. The Jamaica Library Service wants to put the library on it and get the library in every single parish. We're here. So the thing is, there are multiple scenarios, right? We're just open to working. We know that a lot of schools right now having a challenge with kids trying to learn Zoom versus Google Hangouts versus this versus that. I have a simpler tool called Pocket Lessons, and again, people can just connect with us. And we're not hard to work with. That's why United Nations, PIOJ, Caribbean Export, that's why all the multinationals love us. We love them because of their pockets, but they love us because of our efficiency. You understand? So we can find people to pay for the things because we know government has money. We know UN, is doing a lot of things, and PIOJ is doing excellent. So we know our country is in a good position. And I'm just one. I'm not the main apostle. I may be the lead, but I'm just one. All right. So we're here to help.
Okay, you have made your testimony, you have placed it on the table, and the invitation is there for whomever to come and break bread. Give me an idea of what kind of payment method or how is it that people can access this? What would it
All right.
cost? You mentioned from an individual household to like a company. So what
All right.
is it like?
Listen, all right. We don't really talk money like that, right? We talk value, right? So people can talk to us about what type of challenge they have, right? And we will create what value they need. And what I can tell you is we never ever make money come between us and our clients. So don't worry about it.
I just want to know, is it like a one-time cost or is it a subscription-based
That's what
thing?
I'm saying to you, Kira. That's what I'm saying to you, right?
That's what you're saying to me?
Right, that's what I'm saying to you. Because, for example, suppose I could tell you the real price is them now, and then you shut down the conversation, or somebody in them head shut down the conversation, right? What I'm trying to get across is this, right? What we charge as a tiny company for what we are doing now, the price is going to vary based on who approach us and how much demand they approach us with, because we are flexible. That's what we're trying to communicate.
All right, well, you put it out there, and I'm trusting that I like to call this space that we are recording on the Forever Land, that the message will live and amplify and echo for.
All right, let me give you a more specific price so that the listeners aren't left without.
It's not so much the price, no more you tell me in the market. I just want us to understand, like, for example, if I wanted to access it, is it that I would purchase the device from you or I'd purchase some kind of subscription package?
No, you can get a subscription. Well, if it's that you want, no, Kira, oh gosh, man, with your nice little locks and a subscription, Kira, the whole of the Jamaicans, man. Right? So no money don't grow on tree, right?
Okay.
All out here in the struggle together now. But what I'm saying on a serious note, though, we have a tool called Pocket Lessons, right? Parents who are at home with their kids running them up the wall, who want to give them something engaging to do, you can sign up for Pocket Lessons, right? That's on our main company website, academicj.com, right? It's going to ask you about tech campaign, going to see all kind of things about how many kids. Just fill out the form, don't worry about it, right? We know that's Pocket Lessons because we're doing a pivoting for COVID. So in other words, we will deliver coding lessons. You see, coding is what made the difference in my life. My parents bought laptops for me, right? I never repaired laptops. If a laptop was down, right, they made a sacrifice and bought it. As a matter of fact, it was 2 days ago, I sent a picture to my uncle in New York, right? And I keep talking about family because I want your entrepreneurs who are watching to understand that you can't get anywhere without family and friends, right? That's first. There's nowhere you can get. You can go far, you can go fast, by yourself. But if you want to go far, right, you're gonna have to have some names or some people we can call 10 years ago, and they still feel good when you mention them. So back to Uncle Ronnie. So Uncle Ronnie, I found back a laptop bag that he had sent to me when I was just in first year at UWI, right? Now I'm from a Christian home, so this uncle sent me a bag with a laptop, right? HP Pavilion, can't forget it. That laptop made me my first 500,000. I decided to hold on to it, right? Because that laptop bag also came with a lot of condoms in the bag. I mean, it was just mind blowing, right? Yeah. Why are you looking like that, Q? What I'm trying to say to you is that there are different things that happen at different stages of your life that help you to remember things, right? It don't matter how big it may seem or disconnected. What's important is that you remember the important things. You understand? So those little things are important to me, right? So I just kind of showing you some of those little things.
All All right, Mark. So you mentioned your parents before and their influence in pushing you into some level of
Self-reliance.
yes, independence, economic independence, and by ensuring that you had summer jobs, right? But I think you also mentioned that you were given some kind of guidance or facilitated in a way to develop your entrepreneurship before you got into entrepreneurship. There was
Yeah, yeah. Because what
that
happened is this.
cultivation.
All right. So my dad had a 9 to 5 salary, right?
Yeah.
I was saw him on the weekends primarily, right? 100% loving father and thing, but just a sacrifice he had to make. 'Cause we were growing up in Kingston, and he had to work in St. Ann, right? So when him jumping in Bedford and come to town, or early morning, you might see him Sunday nights. Monday morning, you wake up, you might not see him, right? And probably start with the truck in the 3 o'clock drive. So we got the work ethic from him. My father told us and taught us the importance of tools. It's the man with the tools that get the job, right? So those things kind of stayed with us. On the other side, though, my mother is the person who turn her hand and make fashion, right? So my mom, after raising 6 of us, I think her first student was Mashel in the same community, Anil Crescent Waterhouse. And I mean, so in other words, think about a young mother, teen mother, who going through the iterations, learning as she go, right? And taking information to learn from one child to apply to the next one. So by the time they got to me, and the last one, watch it, right? So by the time they got to me, essentially my mother was already a master teacher, master nurturer, master everything, right? So what she did know, I guess, out of boredom, partially as well as out of love. She saw next little, when I was in 1 grade at St. Patrick Primary, she saw a next little young man walking on the streets, and she took him, started teaching him, and then in no time her school grew to 100 and something at the height of it, you understand? Nice, pretty, proper prep school. It's just that without the prep school pricing at the time. And by the way, if anybody who sling gun watching this right now, please put it down, because you see, it's the violence in the communities mash up a lot of businesses, right? Because it's the people inability to cross road when gunshots start firing in Waterhouse and that kind of thing. That, help to break down how many fathers could have carried them kids to school, walk them part of the way. How many fathers were still alive to support financially their kids out there. So violence don't help none of us, right? So just plugging in that anti-violence message right now. So it's my mother's doing, but I never saw my mother as an entrepreneur. And that's a side effect of the school thing, right? And I say it like that. I'm trying to say that as great as school was, it wasn't for a person like Dr. Kadamawa Knife in my final semester, final year, right? I did a course called Introduction to Entrepreneurship. And sitting in the classroom doing this thing academically made me realize that my mother was living this. Matter of fact, my mother should have been at university lecturing it, which I tried to convince her all the time. It's a thing where there are some people who are just bred to be money makers, right? There are some people who it's not the love for money that drives them. It is the grit of knowing what absence is like, right? Of not having options. It's their ability to empathize with finding a solution for themselves and knowing that somebody else out there is struggling to find a solution for this. So if all you can do, if after we create the knowledge point, if all we ask is just a little dollars, as Dr. Knife call it germs. What is germs? We focus on the value that we give to people, and we try to satisfy our clients, no matter what level they are, whether they're spending the money in euro, US, pounds, Canadian, or GMD. We take all currencies back.
What I'm hearing you say, Mark, is that your mother was the source of your entrepreneurial traits.
Yeah, daddy gave us the stability, but mommy gave us the lifestyle.
And
When
it's
I
not
was at high
about
school,
money.
no,
It
it's
wasn't
not,
really
no.
about, it's about her being enterprising. That
All right.
what I heard you say was not
That's all
necessarily
it
about
was.
her, it's about her ability to be enterprising
So
and
watch this
having
thing.
that belief. Go ahead.
Put yourself in my mother position. You have 6 children, right?
Yeah,
You're a teen mom, right?
yeah.
You have 6 kids. And then working out in a family thing, because remember in today's day and age, most young couples have one child and them already pulling them heroes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
imagine you have 6, and yes, the 9 to 5 money is coming in, right? But we all know that there's nothing that beats multiple revenue streams. And that's the first thing that my mother opened my eyes to, because watch this now. When I'm in high school, I remember when my brother died, Marlon, and I was going to JC for my exams at the time. I don't remember if I was head boy yet or I was about to be head boy. I don't remember, but I was going to JC at the time, and my mother had to walk with me. Rain was falling. It was like a hurricane here or something. Man. The place a tear with rain. Truth is, I could care less about the exam because, as far as I was concerned, my brother died. So we're a leave to stop right now, right? And we were walking in the rain. My mother walking me in the rain from Annual Crescent all the way up Bay Farm, go up to Olympic until we found a driver. Now the thing is that road, that walk would have been a little longer if we never had the money to pay a cab. That's number one. Because there was no bus on the stand. There's only taxis and a few too. Number two, right? That walk even would have been in vain in the first place if we never have a little money. Right? And the truth is, we would not have had that money if my mother didn't look down the line, right? So the thing is, if you want to make money as an entrepreneur and all you're focused on is the money, you're not going to make as much as you can. And don't measure yourself against other people. Measure yourself against yourself, right? You have to know how much you can do. When I did my first 1.1 in 18 days, he told me that, listen, that is what gave me the precedence where I finally met Mike. And I was like, Mike, I want to do twice as much
1.1 million in 18 days, you say?
Yeah, man, in CXC Hustle, when I was doing the classes and things. Because there are three things I believe in. Blue ocean strategy, right, is one of them. The fortune at the bottom of the pyramid, rest in peace, Mr. Pearl, I'd never meet you, but I did, that's the same ideology. That's another book, Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, Blue Ocean Strategy. And a very important concept, which is the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule, So like I was telling you yesterday, small entrepreneurs like us, like my mom, you understand? Like those people who grew up and still doing it, right? All of those persons had to find a way to make things happen for themselves based on their why, right? Now, it's one thing for you to make a half a brick when you're saying to yourself, okay, yes, boy, I want to buy that new car and I short $1 million or I short 500,000, I have $1 million already. So, okay, that's nice. But what if that doesn't motivate you? Some entrepreneurs are motivated by the hype of going to the mixers and the who is who on the line. But what if after you do all of that, which happened to most entrepreneurs, yeah, you're still not seeing any money coming in? Then you have another set of entrepreneurs like my mother now, who the world don't know, yeah, but everything them do make sense. Them ends always meet, yeah. So it's not about the hype, right? You can have a big noisy thing up top and the stream really shallow because the earth itself, geology, kind of packed and solidified so that it can't soak and everything will rush. Or you can have a tiny little stream up at the top, but the truth is, what you're seeing at the top is like the ice cap, yeah? What is underneath it is, So like when you go on Forbes and you read Forbes and you see who is the richest and the this and the that, do you really think those people who have the most money really want to be listed? Sometimes you have to kind of stop and think.
All right, Mark, what is your vision of success?
I want to leave behind a book called Rhyme to Reason, The Path Between, right?
Rhyme to Reason, The Path Between.
Been trying to write that from I was 9. So I want to leave that book behind, right? And you see, when I leave it behind, I want to keep erasing all of the chapters as I go along and condensing them. I want to make sure that between the date, the 7th, well, they said the 17th or the 19th are born, and I throw in the 18th and average it out. So when the headstone says 17th, 18th, 19th of July, 1984, to whichever date, that dash there, yeah, that's the most important thing for me. Right?
That book.
If
why is that book so important?
The dash in the book, the Rhyme to Reason. The Rhyme to Reason is the born to the reason part. From them teaching you cow jump over the moon until you realize that cow and moon don't really have nothing to do with each other. All right, Rhyme to Reason. So the dash, the path between is what I'm focusing on. So that dash, right, that people put on your eulogy when you start and when you end. I want that dash to represent a legacy of hard work, of taking on impossible tasks, right? of moving the needle, right? I want to make sure that if nothing else, I have represented a cornerstone in my family entrepreneurially in the same way I see my mom did it, in the same way I see Auntie Carol up in Mavis Bank doing it as a retired educator, right? In the same way I see people who went to school doing it, like my team that when I was head boy, Jermaine Williams, right? Him run good as new, and the other day I was able to pop in there to even find out about something because sports had a major issue with something I was doing, and I was like, you know, why am I killing up myself about big brands when I have these brands that normally support me? I have guys like Tyrone Wilson doing it really major, been doing it major, right? Um, you have other persons like Frank McCook doing it major. You understand? So in other words, if you look around in your generation, right? Even Dr. Dre, who I just saw today, who made sure I was here on time, yeah? From music. There are many people that I look around, Logan Gale, Goldmine Music. So there are a lot of people I see who are doing it. So if I can put all of them together, Richard Pasley with him, Inama Calabash, Dr. Knife, Dr. Alan Bernard, you know, Dr. Diokoro. And a matter of fact, there are so many people who have done nothing but work hard in Jamaica who are not recognized. So I'm saying I want to leave back as an iconic person, a culture to help the other generation of persons to recognize that, listen, hard work, nothing wrong with it. Yeah? You can give the YouTube a break. You can put the Netflix down. You cannot soften up and mush up your mind so much, right? You can really make your life so interesting that you don't have time for anything else except the things that you do. So that's what I want to leave back, a legacy of hard work.
A legacy of hard work, and it sounds like you're saying impact, mattering.
Yeah, but those are words that them throw away. Every entrepreneur talking about them words, right? People don't want to talk about
Not
the real words, right?
necessarily, you know, not
So I want to
necessarily.
be hard work is where I'm at. That's it.
Hard work
The
is it for
layman can
you.
understand hard work.
Hard
Man at the
work.
top of the pyramid. And I share something with you why I said that too. Do you know how much effort you have to put in to make $1 million in Jamaica as an entrepreneur relying on yourself or your team? And do you know how much it takes for you to put in $1 million in US to make that same million? And it's the same exact amount of effort. It's just the territory that's different. So if you're not prepared to work hard, you see, working hard for your first million here in Jamaica, that's good. Yeah? It teaches something. So by the time you start doing the US and other kind of currencies, the other day, I found myself thinking about a problem. I was trying to find out how much money would scare you if you saw it in your bank account. And I realized I don't know. You understand? I still want to see what's going to scare me. Why I saying that to you and why I saying it to other entrepreneurs? Everybody have to know your why. You have to know your numbers. If you know that charging $20,000 for something intimidating to you, you're going to be in a problem. Yeah? If the only thing you're comfortable charging is $500, you're not going to be in business very long. Right? So you kind of have to shift your thinking. You have to kind of, and the easiest way is stop thinking about the money. Right? Don't think about the money. Think about the hard work you're putting in, the value you're creating, and the smile that's going to be on people's faces. Sometimes you pay people, you know. I give you one story. My business partner, Yuan Walters, right? We got a check one day for a tech camp. We're charging $25,000 for the camp at the time, right? By the way, if you have parents at home who need the kids to learn coding, again, just hit up the website, academicj.com, and do the pocket lessons and teach them while they're home. But we saw a check come in for $250,000 was written on it. So, you know, we're charged $25,000. It's $250,000 coming on a check from a mother who sent her child from Florida, all right? And when we check the check, we said, no, man, maybe she just put one extra zero. Okay, fine. But at the same time, the $250,000 was written out in words. So that can't be a mistake. So that's now when we had to check what's going on globally. So we called up one of our advisors in Washington who explained to us that those type of rates, that the mother, based on what we were providing, she being in an American space, that is what she would expect to pay standard for that type of program. That's the first encounter I had in recognizing that there's a major disparity in terms of value that you provide and what is paid for the value, depending on where you operate, right? So listen, Jamaicans, entrepreneur, watch here. Find a way and export it in, right? Offer it locally and practice. But if you want 10x your price point for the same thing, Yeah, man, make sure it get on a ship. Make sure it get over the internet, right? And make sure you have a way to collect the money. Also, banks, you guys kind of need to get out of our way, right? We kind of need more help in collecting the monies, right? So the PayPal connections and the swipe and the Stripe and all of those, please, we need help, right? We can make a lot more money and put more money in your banks, but you guys got to help us, right? You have to.
Mark, you're just a shoot straight and fast. And what you said just a while ago, really, I want to have it just resonate because it's very powerful, especially in a timeline now where you're talking about 10xing value and value being
Value comes before money.
conditional. It's conditional.
Yeah, man.
It's
Value comes before
conditional.
money. So take
I
the
have
money,
to
take out the
identify
money
where that
argument.
value.
Yeah, man, take out
Yeah.
the money arguments, put in the value. All right, put in the value, and don't overcharge people. Over deliver on the value and undercharge them. Right, you'll be in business forever. Trust me. Yeah, and a one day monkey one wife. Right. So if you're the monkey as the entrepreneur and the customer the wife, and one day you want them. Right. If you go back with an everyday bucket go well, one day the bucket must drop out. If you overcharge your customers every day, one day they must wake up and see an alternative out there and you've been charging, you've been treating them like an idiot.
The lesson,
How you think that's gonna go down?
The lesson here is make sure that you're mining for value, you're delivering value, and that you know where to mine for that value. Because I mean, you can charge that 250,000 would not fly in Jamaica. So it's not that your offering doesn't have value and worth, like you're saying, but you have to go and find where that is.
I want to share something with you. You see, when you said that 250,000 would fly in Jamaica, listen to this, right? You keep doing your thing long enough, you find yourself reached to a point like when my dad was in the hospital, I was doing a contract for the Ministry of Finance. And that was 1.65 million for 60 days worth of work, right? You find yourself going out for some engagements and you find a client giving you $250,000 for the day or thereabouts, right? What I'm trying to say is if you chase the money, it runs away from you.
Yeah.
Chase the value. Take your hungry days. Your hungry days must come. If you want to be a good entrepreneur, take your hungry days. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a 9 to 5, trust me, you don't know anything about entrepreneurship until you let go of the 9 to 5. Just believe me. I don't mean you're not a good entrepreneur, you're not going to be a good businessman or woman or whatever. I'm just saying to you, the way you have to think when you know that everything depends on you is different from how you think when you know it's optional, right? Right?
That's true. Commitment.
I remember watching this movie with them going to some scientists going to, I think it was somewhere up the poles, right? And one of them had a gun and it caused this big problem. I think it's one of them alien movies. Them look kind of weird. And he had a gun and like everybody's like, so why you have the gun? Right? And the person was like, it's like a condom. It's better you have it and not need it than need it and don't have it, right? So overall, that is a mindset you have to have, right? You have to be willing to see your hungry days and take it, hug it up, because guess what? I remember doing a project 3 years ago or so, and monies were out there on the road for us. So we could get it. And that was the hungriest Christmas my family had, right? That was the hungriest Christmas my family had. And I said to myself, but look how I come and meet my wife, good and everything, all right, to the girl, and we come and take her and confuse her life with this money hunting thing, and these people have man money and all kind of things. So you know what I did? Build a chicken coop, start sell chicken. Because I'm like, you know what? Maslow's hierarchy of needs says a man must be able to feed himself, shelter himself, and clothe himself. And it's only when you move up the ladder you're able to take on a wife and a family. So how do you move up the ladder and then slide back down? I said, no, man, something wrong with this plan, man, right? So I'm trying to say to you, as long as you look on the needs in your own life and try to genuinely fill them, don't go out there and tell somebody, say you can help them with digital media marketing, but you don't even have one inbound need, right? You're faking, right? Fix your problems. The knowledge point is only valuable because we built it to fix our problems. We never, ever meant for it to go on the road to anybody. We didn't care who else come and follow us, replicate us, imitate us, right? No, we were only interested in kicking down the door of this whole thing where people who have internet and can't get digital content. Foolishness, right? See Zuckerberg and the rest of them leading the charge now on zero rating the internet, which is necessary, right? Because the internet is just basic now.
Mark, they have to stop it every now and then, you know.
We can circle back for another time.
Can you shoot out the thing them fast, you know? And I really want people to get some of the really good things that you're saying, especially things that I find are so, I think, relevant to know because we not this time and sound stressed. I'm gonna tell you that.
No,
Mark,
I hear the
sound
thing now.
stressed.
I'm
But
gonna tell you
only for
something.
people sound stressed.
No,
But only
listen
for
now.
people are stressed, I should say. And you said something about this thing, when about Maslow's needs and you being willing to take care of those needs, do what you need to do to take care of you and your family. A lot of people are in that position right now. Their businesses are in flux, or them not have no hope to come back, and
So
some
leave the
might be in
business alone and
denial.
go build a chicken coop. You'd be
Me
surprised to
like
know
his
that
suggestion. Me like his it real,
your
it
business
practical.
skills on the chicken coop, yeah? You'd be surprised to know how much, first of all, the first set of people used to buy from us is over offense. So big up Mr. Archer and Mrs. Archer, right? And Kevin Archer, big up yourself, I know you always help out with the digital, right? We literally support people. Mr. Shepherd, who always round the corner in Mona there's, right? Those people. Alvin Pizer, who have the roots factory out in the country, right? Who out in the town. And those people around you, and that's the thing. You have to learn to praise the people around you. Demand more from yourself than others, but still make them understand that you have high standards for them, Because listen, I don't really do well with emotions. It's when I start catching feelings, people around me get burned, right? So I try not to do it because I hold me to high standards. So it's not hard for me to turn around and see something not going well and, throw a fit, right? So consequently, a matter of fact, it's just 2 months ago I even come back in the digital world. I just took myself all the way off of so anybody who was doing business with me really either had to email me directly, or you had to know me well enough to know my wife's number to call her and get me. You understand? Because I realized that in doing business in Jamaica, too much hype is involved. If somebody only wants to send you a WhatsApp to the business, they don't want the business. Yeah? If somebody only wants to pick up the phone and make a call, if somebody only wants to say, hey, I was thinking about you when I'm running into you, then say that thing about me whenever I made effort to come and find me. No. Right? If somebody not sending an email behind what I'm asking you to do, they're not serious about doing business. If you when you send them your bank account, them they give you some questions and not serious. If when you tell them that okay, you have 30 days to pay the deposit, they don't want to pay the deposit, go do something else. Save yourself the heartache. Don't be excited about people telling you say yes, they want to buy your services or your things. If you don't see money, nothing not happening. It's very simple. Right? It's very, very simple. It's not complicated. Put the value out there and see when you see how your muscle burn you, how your emotions, how your family life up and down, how you can't align with your friends because of your business, you will take yourself so seriously that when it's time to charge money, trust me, people won't have an issue with what you charge and they won't have an issue with you paying them. Mr. Leachin has a video and I recommend everybody go and find him on YouTube and follow his channel, right? I think his name Mandeville Holdings or something like that. And him have a video where he give you 5 traits for wealthy persons, right? You're not wealthy when you get the money and the assets, You're wealthy from you have the mindsets, right? The first one is that you must have a framework for making decisions. Action coach teach you that you have to know how to fire customers, yeah? It's not everybody money you want. Some people don't want to tell them keep your money and you keep your things. Not so raw, right? It's just because talking to not talking to them straight. It's not so raw. You understand? You diplomatically say, oh my gosh, oh, I can't do it in time. I really wish I could. Oh, I saw another company, I think they're those so and so and so. You have to get rid of some customers.
Refer them out.
Yeah, man, you have to fire customers. You
Refer
have
them
to.
out.
If you want to survive, you have to know when to say, you know what? Boy, it would have nice to get the money there, but hero. Go and take 100 day today. Go and pay them bills. The other thing is you have to learn how to use, even if the bank not giving you a credit card, you better try to figure out how to use your utility bills as a credit card. Right? Mr. Leachin also go back and teach you that. Listen, after you have a framework for making decisions, you have to turn around and make sure that your emotions don't erode the framework. People around you may not agree with what you're seeing. Yeah? But listen, when Caleb and Joshua go up and look for the promised land on behalf of Moses and come back, and Moses say, I want to see. About 12 of them did go up, or so a couple of them. I think 10 of them come back and say, boy, X. And them say, boy, I want to say, boy, listen, we're able to go up and take it at once. That's the most important part of that story. Whereas everybody else saw all the reasons why they cannot go, while everybody else saw reasons why they couldn't go, they not only saw that they could go, but they saw that the only way to go was at once. I have a picture on my display of Muhammad Ali in a fight. I don't remember who he was fighting. Losers normally really record the name of losers in a history unless you really want to highlight the victor, right? And the title of the picture basically, the caption said, I saw it in my barbershop. Ligani, big up on yourself. I showed Willie Pop plugs to everybody, you know what I mean? Kira. Right. So it said first round, first minute. Him knocked down the man. All they seen is him hand, man on the ground, and the caption only said first round, first minute. Jamaicans who are watching entrepreneurs, wannabe entrepreneurs, yeah, many moguls who want to be like, tear a page out on a book, etc. Listen, let's just make this money, right? The most important resource to our company individually is us. The most important resource to our country is us. The only people who can fix our country's problems are us. So that's it in a nutshell. You can create a business for money in Akira. You can create it. Let's say you created this streaming, this platform for money. Right? Let's say, you know, we can probably sponsor it and you throw the logo somewhere. But let's say you created this platform for money. But the truth is, there are so many people watching who are benefiting from the fact that you selfishly created your platform. So being selfish is not bad. Being self-centered also as a business owner is not bad, right? You have to be so aggressive with protecting your brand, building your brand, delivering the value, right? That way the customer, there are people out there, all right, we are using Zoom now, right? Because some IT person was stupid enough to believe that even after Skype and Google Hangouts and all of that, the world would still need another platform. How about that? The biggest platform tied to COVID is Zoom.
That just boxed me, Mark. That just boxed me down my face. Because, you know, I'm telling you, I don't know if anybody else out there does this, but I am so guilty of doing this. A lot of the time, seeing something and thinking, no, but it's out there already. No, it don't need another one.
Waste time, man.
It's Look true, here, that just boxed me.
Here, let me tell you something. Yeah, another story. So you see the youth them with the master, in the Bible, the youth them with the master, they give the different talents and one get one, right? It's a youth to suffer from low self-esteem, right? And my same artistic virgin next door to me, Kevin Archer, right? He teach me a thing over there, all right? And we were talking about traveling overseas and living in cold places. Him say, a man in a cold place showing my vibe that, listen, you know the only thing a healthy body suffers from in a space like this, right? The only one thing a healthy body can suffer from. You can have the healthiest body, right? And you don't have a healthy mind. And you go out there in the cold. You're not going to get very far, yeah? You're going to freeze to death because your mind was unhealthy. Your mind wasn't healthy enough to tell you that you need to prepare your body with warm clothing. So your body perfect. So the only thing a healthy body suffers from is an unhealthy mind, right? You see, low self-esteem and lack of confidence. There are so many people in the world that need the greatness in so many people who have the ideas, but because them just doubt themselves. So my question is this. How about you go down the road full speed and realize it's a dead end and turn back? We're wrong. At least you get to the end of the road quickly. Yeah? How about you just put your emotions one side, try it and make it fail? Yeah? At least you'll get experience. All right? My father brainwashed us in an ideology that he got from Kaiser, which is that one person can and does make a difference. And you see, we see it with David and Goliath. The whole of this big bad Israel afraid everybody. But a little tiny David with a little 5 stone, which, you know, in the church, them say Jesus is spelled, but you don't know. Yeah, so we're not micro businesses, right? We're like a David businesses, right? Things that big businesses cannot do. They're small enough, nifty enough, sharp enough. We can adjust. And listen, there are some problems that are so big. If you think your radiator cap is unnecessary here, I dare you to go ahead and try drive from here to Mobile without your radiator cap. And see what happens.
Until you reach that far.
That's why I say I dare you. I dare you to have the ambition. You know, much I have ambition to build mansion in the sky, but don't even want to do a foundation in the ground. So listen, man, we're powerful beyond our measures, right? It's our race bring out a Marcus, a Malcolm, yeah? Our race. So listen, we have to just get serious.
Mark, I want to ask you something. What you're in education, obviously, but a lot of people, well, I don't know if it's a lot of people, but there is some, I guess, debate around the relevance of education in entrepreneurship or academia in entrepreneurship. I want to ask you, what is your philosophy on education as it relates to the the success, or does an entrepreneur's success depend on education?
All right. Every time Michael Leachin talk about education, I never hear mention university. I'm always talk about in primary school and knowledge experience out in Portland and that instrumental teacher and him being this oversized, overgrown kid. All right. Every time I talk, I hear anything about Richard Branson. It's always tied to the closest I hear anything about Richard Branson education is when he was actually selling. He did start out with the little soda pop or the little newspaper business thing, subscription thing, right? That he was selling to some college kids and whatever, right? Plus he has dyslexia. The thing is, I'm connected to a lot of children who are geniuses, right? Through Dr. Diokoro, through my mom's experience, Claudette Scott in teaching. I have grown to see that even in my own life, right? Over time as you grow, because one of my life coach explained to me that based on my personality profile, by the way, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to know your personality profile. So go on 16personalities.com, 16personalities.com, it's free. Get to know yourself, right? You can either be a lion, a beaver, otter, or a golden retriever, right? That's one of the four you have to be, right? But it needs all four for the visions to come together, right? So either you're going to be all four roles, right? But what I'm saying about education is that education needs to be more relevant in terms of how parents repackage it for their children. You're never going to get away from the Einstein issue of judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree and thinking it's a failure. Our education system is designed, right, to help us to prove that we are trainable and to help to standardize our literacy level. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We're already burdening the teachers with babysitting our kids. We already have too many broken homes, too many single mothers, too many, and too many. Yeah? You take a whole village to raise a child, you take a big, big village to raise a master. Yeah? So when I see the small village I'm struggling, I do expect it to be corrected on the school side. But I am saying, it is also time for us to better incorporate Heart Trust NTA into our academic program, right? And from first form, we give kids some miniature projects to do, right? If you give a child, I remember in first form, when I was doing general science, they gave me a project where I was supposed to work with electricity. Kevin Scott, my older brother, he was doing woodwork at the time. When Kevin done, I will build a little base. I will put a little pole and the fudge stick them. I will run the wires them and the light and the motor. We have windmill. We have solar, right? We have little LED light. We have a light switch, right? Those things, right? I'm not one to say gender role and push the boys into this and put the girls into this. But listen, this thing where you're doing activities around the house and the kids them just watching TV or watching them laptop, you can't do it like that. The things I know to do is because I was always outside around my father, around my brothers, around my sisters, around somebody. So there are things you don't learn in the school, but there's a time when it's time for you to use it. But here's the thing, if you get a chance to go to school, take it. Education is one of them little gun that we talk about. Because we love gun in our culture and we love religion, right? So education is one of them gun there, right? It's better you have it and you don't need it than you need it and you don't have it. That is education. But listen, if you don't have the high school education, if you don't have the Mark Scott story, nothing wrong with that either. There, I look down under the camera, my fellow. Yeah, nothing wrong with that either, right? Brush that dirt off your shoulder like Jay-Z said, man. Yeah? Go out there and conquer the world because the Father who created never created you based on your bank account. And the day where you have to watch it now is not because you're entitled to it because you have money in your account or you have education. You're a whole human being already. If the idea come to you, try it. Why not die trying? Why not fail trying? Yeah? The next thing though, I'm going to give you now, because it's at 10:55, right? Don't talk about your ideas. And that's on a TED Talk, right? And maybe you can find that TED Talk here and share with your viewers, right? There's a TED Talk where they explain to you the psychology that happened between two groups. One group was told that they have to complete an activity. Another group was told that they can just sign and leave. Most of who were told that they can sign and leave just signed and left. Something to that essence, right? You see, when you talk about the idea, you're giving yourself the same kind of, you're releasing the same kind of pleasures in yourself as you would only feel if you had completed it. So stay frustrated, stay annoyed, stay mad at yourself. Yeah? Listen, I stopped making money with the cafe marathons until we built this. It was a punishment to ourselves. Yeah? But once you get the vehicle out of the way now, you can go sell water because you just create your own pipe. So we can literally collaborate with you, Kira, for example, and say, Kira, hero. You know, so we know seeing a kind of have them kind of pocket there. So hero, take one of them devices, but listen, make we help you work out the content side of it, right? I would do a little IP split on the content ownership, and then we can repackage and distribute and white label, and you can keep your content too, and you can keep the device. You understand? Because there are multiple ways, to make this money. Right? So let's make some money, Kira. Kira, this is your plug. Let us make some money, Kira.
Yeah, I'm taking up that invitation. I like it. I'm ready. I actually have on my whiteboard here. I wrote this week. I don't remember where I was reading it. Oh, I'm doing an abundance challenge. I don't know if people know about this, the Deepak Abundance Challenge. I just started it like 2 weeks ago. And it said,
the Deepak Oprah roll, that's the same Deepak that rolled in Oprah?
Yeah, but this one is just Deepak. There was one day that asked, if you knew success was a certainty, what would you attempt? And I wrote two of them, but then I crossed out attempt and I said, what would I begin? Because when you say attempt, sometimes it's like you do so with the expectation that it.
I'm gonna tell you this in the Kira.
What would you begin?
Skip out the attempt, right? And skip out the begin. Yeah? Just put the do. Don't complicate the words. Begin of 5 letters.
What would you do?
Yeah, just do.
Yes, I'm with you. Is
the do in just do it that made Nike, the do.
Because they did it.
No, you can, if you think about Nike, you can drop the just and you can drop the it. And you would still have the do.
The do.
But Nike with the just alone is not enough. Nike with the it alone is not enough. Nike with the just and the it is not enough. But the do alone is action. I don't talk with words, I try to talk with pictures. If I do something, I take a picture and show whoever I need to show.
Providence favors the doers. The ones who are committed in the action.
You have to remember now. You're going to touch a difficult word now. Difficult word.
Come, Mr. Educator, break it down for us.
Difficult word. You know what Providence mean? Huh?
Break it down for us, Mr. Educator.
Providence was one of, every year I choose a word and I put it up on my status. This is the only year I never choose a word because I decided to keep my words in my skin itself, right? Keep it in my muscle memory, right? Providence is actually God's duty of care. That's what providence is. Just like Gestalt is, the value of the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts. Sometimes you can give me a whole plate of food, but just give me a tiny piece. A little piece is good enough for me because the multiple revenue streams I'm really into, right? I'm not into that whole big cake thing, right? Multiple revenue streams, a tiny piece and a good, right? Providence is God's duty of care. God made you wholesome as a person with a purpose. If you keep running away from your purpose because you don't know it, the only way you find your purpose is by trying, You're trying to do. You see, the hardest thing for me to do is make money selling websites right now. I'm a very, very good IT professional. But if you tell me to sit down and build websites to make money, boy, my family gonna starve. And so we can't make a family starve. Give me a hammer and a nail. Right? I've changed. I've grown. I started coding very early. So I'm tired of coding. I know that I can make money out of coding is like my default. Right? But what I'm more interested now in, how do I get away from the time for money swap? Right? So I'm interested in scalable things, not things where I spend 10 hours and tell me say I'm going to get paid $1,000 per hour. That's not for me. Maybe should I meet me in my 20s, right? Me now I need 9 out of them 10 hours to sit down and not do anything. And then in that hour I say, haha, that is it in a mark. And I take that hour and I try to make 100 or a 50 or a 10 or even $5. Right? Because money is money.
That point though, Mark, before you even move off from there, so what is your philosophy on resourcing your entrepreneurial pursuits, as in expanding team? Like, what do you believe? How do you believe that works in today's day and age?
You try with people, if it don't work, because it work, you move on.
All right. So what? Fine, but in
But here's
terms
the thing.
of
Let me just give you a caveat.
you have the gig economy, you have the consultant type thing, you have the network thing, you have the employment direct thing. What's your perspective? What do you think is appropriate? And you can speak just for yourself, you know, and your business.
I
How do
think
you
anything that
source it?
makes Keisha Patton Scott, Sean Francis Ellis, Claudette Scott, Kima Scott, Karen Scott, Michael Scott, Taja Jade, Jenny, right? And all of the in-laws them, Charlene Scott, you understand? Any of the in-laws them, and my brother Kirk, my brother-in-law Kirk Patton was Kevin Scott. Anything that feeds the family is the right thing. Whatever label comes with it, okay. And I tell you why I'm not into the labeling thing. I'm just going to share this last story with you quick. I had a friend, Lieber Thomas, right? He was in the army in England, fly to Jamaica. Him and his brother starts this funeral casket handle business, right? One day he said to me, Mark, we get a container and I'll strip it and him rent a house and we're putting the stuff in there. And I see them have this little doggies, little exercise book. And I said, what do I do with that? So that's not the inventory, no? The three young men my age laughed me to scorn. You hear? They had the confidence to raise money. They had the confidence to call China to ship a whole container, do them whole thing, right? And make sure every funeral home get it ahead of the competitors, right? And they never even knew what the word inventory meant. You listen to me? And I went to school with one of these guys. Went to school with Liebert. Liebert laughed me to scar. Liebert said, Mark, Papa, what you say? Eh? Inventory? Yo, wanna come here. This is what I call it inventory. When you look in the book, you don't see no serial number for the things them. Some of the things them call it dog ears, dog face, silver this, that. But who was making money like them? Who was making money like them?
Just do it.
Just down the road from here, you have Everyday Auto that Kevin owns, right? And I'm just going to say Kevin first. If you know Everyday Auto, you must know Kevin. If you don't know Everyday Auto, you need to, right? When you come to Boma, you go down there and you see Kevin. You don't even know says Kevin. Kevin had a fire. And we're like, boy, when we just meet Kevin, Kevin place burned down right down the road. You must know down at JBDC, right? So burned down. In 2-2's Kevin re-up. Not just re-up, additional things. These are not the popular entrepreneurs. Yeah, popularity don't go anywhere. Popularity don't go in bank accounts. Unless you're some people who kind of selling nudity and that kind of thing, you know, like them other people that we're not calling them. But yeah, the point is, just do what you need to do to feed your family. Feeding my family is at the top of my agenda every day, all day, and twice on Sundays. Sorry, keep it chill. I know I'm not normally refer to that. Kind of definitely.
All right. That's it. Quick answer question. What are your top 5 must-read books?
Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid.
I wrote that down because it's first I heard that one.
Yeah, man. Blue Ocean Strategy, any version of it you get.
Yeah, I got that already.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah. The Bible.
Got those.
Yeah, so how much we gone? 4?
Yeah.
Now watch this.
2, 3. We're gone 3. Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, Blue Ocean, Richest Man in Babylon,
Richest Man in Babylon, Blue Ocean Strategy, the Bible.
And
5. And the 5th one is not a book, right? The 5th one is split in 2, right? The 5th one is Following Mr. Michael Leachin, right? Yeah. And secondly, it is understanding that because you're a small entrepreneur, you cannot misunderstand the Pareto principle. You must understand it. 20% of your efforts will give you 80% of the results, and 80% of the things you're doing don't make sense. I'm only going to give you 20% of the results. So listen, get to know yourself. You are a book. Go on 16personalities.com, go and get to know yourself. You are a book.
I like that.
Marcus and Malcolm and all of us have been trying, all of those have been trying to get us to look inside. Professor Rex Netterford said something, and it's my wife Keisha through her dance company taught me. And she taught me in a very potent way, right? Inward stretch, outward reach. The deeper you stretch inside of you, the greater you understand that you are vaster inside than the external 3D universe you're seeing, then the easier it is for you to pull things out of you. You just have to know which room what they're in. Yeah? If your whole body is an organ, if you take the Bible literally and say, you know, in my house, father's house, how many mansions, and you take yourself that you are that house. Only per mansion you have, the heart alone is a big mansion. Professor Daniel Kaur had a big innovation with 2 other university lecturers by building back an artificial heart. We just build out a little artificial communicator which would have come like him out. Just searching inside yourself, Kira. Make some money, Kira. And anybody else who watching Kira, let's make some money because I'm all about making money.
You're hearing people, he's inviting us to make some money. I'm taking him on. I don't want to talk to you. We don't want to stop the conversation. It has been, at the beginning I said I thought the conversation was going to be compelling, and it really has been super engaging. I just reached for this book. I have it on my desk, as you mentioned, Getting to Know Yourself as an Entrepreneur. This one is a really good one, the Strengths Finder.
I'm going to look for it.
Yeah, it's Tom Rath. I think it's by which company that does, they do engagement surveys. That Gallup, right? They did it. So.
And listen, it would be remiss of me to not say this, right? You cannot be good and functional as an entrepreneur if you're not taking good care of yourself, right? So I'm going to give you 2 businesses that I recently found out about, and I'm going to encourage you guys to follow them, right? One of them website is plantsmartja.com, right? Plantsmartja.com. They help you to, I think what I do is help you to get like herbs and spices in liquor boxes, so whether they live in an apartment complex or not, you can still eat healthy. If you have children who don't eat vegetables, kids who grow vegetables usually eat them. So they have some boxes, some vegetable boxes, plant boxes. You buy it and them give you some artificial hand-holding things, and they're very excellent.
That's local?
Yeah, that's local. Plantsmartja.com, right? I think they must have some Mother's Day specialty. The other thing I'll say to you is my wife's business, Arabesque Dance Collective. Find them on Facebook, right? Arabesque, Arabesk Dance Collective. And here's why I'm telling you to find them.
Spell it again, slower.
Arabesque, Arabesk Dance Collective. They're on Facebook, I believe, right?
Okay.
Look at the dances that them have. You might not be the person into the opera. I was into all of them kind of mushy kind of artsy-feely type of vibration thing, right? If you don't have nothing for the ones and zeros, money or binaries, it wasn't me. But I found that because I'm an IT person, my back would pain me. And from I meet my wife, I'm start trying mimic her with her little dance, pose them and stretch, yeah? So even if you watch her videos, right, you'll find that, I tell you the thing that will work for me now. My wife worked for me. These are the closest we can share her with, right? Our Facebook, right? And PlantSmart JA works for me because like right now at my house, I have 2 other boxes that I can pick 2 little things out of. You understand? Like I have callaloo, I'm reaping, you know. So
I love that. I love
into those things, you know? But you have to stay healthy. You have to, in order to work hard, you have to, you have to you have to work a team. And listen to me. Women entrepreneurs get married. Male entrepreneurs get married. If you're dating somebody and they're good enough for you, date them for a year or 2, get married. The truth is, having a divorce is the same like a breakup. All you do is just put in the thing there before.
The paperwork.
Document the way. Yeah, man, you leave with whatever you come with, and I leave with whatever I come with, right? So,
but they're kind of more complicated still. What next conversation?
No, listen.
The next conversation, what talk?
I'm just sharing it. I'm just sharing it. Yeah?
Yeah,
in learning to work in a marriage, you learn a lot more about yourself as well.
That's true.
And your why, if you really love the person, we found out that my father was going to die shortly while my wife and I were visiting him in the hospital on the way to a UN meeting. My sister was in Bahamas and called and said, Daddy not going to live out the weekend. She's a medical doctor. She was risking her job to come back to Jamaica. Instantly, we never got no meeting. I said to my business partner who was also there because he was a med rep as well, I said, listen, I'm going to leave and get the paperwork done. Please make sure that a pastor is waiting for me here in the hospital room. And it worked. You see, when you get married, and 2 days after that, Daddy died anyway. So it even showed me, says a good thing, somebody act with urgency in the moment when I found out that he wouldn't live, right? So I'm saying to you, when you get married as an entrepreneur, when you really, really, really do the thing properly, yeah, date somebody, all right, it's up to you. But I'm saying if you really check for the person really check for you, right? What you can achieve as an entrepreneur is so much greater as a man when you give that woman the security, or as a man when the woman gives you that nod. You understand? It's empowering. It does something. No matter how
Support.
much I feel from the wake up and see my family, I'm good.
Wow. Mark, thank you so much. This conversation has been riveting. I trust that whomever is watching, I don't see any questions coming in, but I see some feedback. Sasha gave and hold yourself to high standards. That I guess that may have come on earlier. Janine is saying powerful stuff, good entrepreneurial food, great philosophy, and our greatest resources are self. That was from Kima Scott Hall. Personally, I thought this conversation was so wholesome. It was so holistic and comprehensive. We looked at the whole person, you, the entrepreneur, as a man. You can put on, okay, I can't see you again. Where you going? You go back into incognito mode. Why did you know? It's been so, yes, it's so fun talking with you, know, Mark. I can see why you
Been my pleasure.
why you would be a hit with the children, because you sure know how to make us laugh and things like that, and just be very interesting. Really
Thank you
appreciate
very much, Kiro. And I want to tell you thanks, also say thanks to Mr. Coley of JBDC for even thinking that I have a message to share. So give thanks.
you certainly do, and I get the impression that you have a lot more. So we could have another conversation at another. I want to talk back to you in another maybe
Just
two,
buy the book,
5 years.
man. You guys can give me the money in advance of the book, Rhyme to Reason. I'll fast track.
I want to get the chapter updates
All right,
on the
well,
Rhyme
I'll
and
put the chapter out
Reason
there.
in another few years.
I'll make sure it's there.
Thank you so much, Mark. Much
Thanks for having me.
blessings to you and your family and that support system that you have. And we're looking forward to what more you're going to be offering and contributing in our space here in Jamaica.
Thank you, Mr. David Silvera.
Tech support, big up yourself.
Yes, come. IT people always get left in the back. I know it personally. So, Mr. Silvera, big up yourself. And listen, parents out there, if you really want, listen, start your kids on coding. That's the only thing I'd tell you. Buy some of follow my wife company, our Best Dance Collective. Go and find Plant Smart J and see if you can get some of them veggies to help your kids grow and eat them own veggies, etc. But outside of that, no, I want to say to you, listen, just subscribe to academicj.com, fill it out, and we'll send the coding lessons to your kids. Because if your children learn to code, you'd be surprised. They'll be handing you millions left, right, and center in the future, near future too. Near future.
The STEM, you're in the STEM areas, and you're actually in the most relevant, one of the most relevant areas in education right now. So
take the remote from them. Don't put them in front of the computer. Take the remote from them.
Yeah, put them on the computer to do some coding.
Yeah, not the TV. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, put them in
subscribe, fill out the Academic J website. Let's send you some lessons to get them started. The first 3 lessons free. And if you want to pay for the research, you just do what you need to do. But we provide value for us. Thanks again.
Get them excited. You're most welcome, Mark. And I get the feeling we're going to be talking again on a platform like this, if not the same one, very, very soon, because you have much more to tell us, much more to share.
On a platform like this.
On a platform like that.
Marcus Sewell and Branson Center Cohort 7, big up on yourself.
David Mullins.
Reaching. Yeah, still want to get twice as rich as you now, the time it take together. So send me some of your money, but help myself. I'm sure. Later, Kira.
All right, Mark. David, take us out, please.